stop what you're doing right now and go grab a bottle of Miracle Food, suitable for all ages, the perfect cleanse and reboot, and it promotes a healthy immune system. Created by some of the most powerful superfoods on the planet, Miracle Food in this day and age is perfect for you. Don't wait. ChakraDoctor.org. Go grab your bottle of Miracle Food right now. Let them know Viral Hip Hop News sent you. Let's go.
Mal, who was one of the co-hosts that were fired from the Joe Budden podcast, actually put this warning out to Joe Budden. He put, the lies are always loud. The truth is always quiet. I promise you. Always. But supporters deserve the truth, and they're going to get that. Eid Mubarak. I hope I'm saying that right. No disrespect to the Muslims. I guess he's in his Ramadan coming down and all that. He said, man, smart people know what's going on. Saying, man,
we have a profit agreement, a percentage-based contract with each other, and every time we asked for accounting, there was a problem. You never wanted to give nobody accounting. You don't want to show us the real numbers from the deals and all of this other shit. And it's like, all right, fam, what are we doing? Because, again, we have this contract, and if you're not going to honor this contract, like you said in front of other people, then it's like, this shit ain't going to work. It's not going to work. And if you don't, like I said, if respect ain't there, I'm not. We have a problem. It was like a lot of the success of this podcast is based off of his music career, right? I feel like he thinks it's a trickle down effect from his music career to the podcast. And my thing is, it's not. I've been in some of these cities when you were a rapper, Joe. I've been in some of these cities. It wasn't, this many people weren't showing up for you. And see, and again, through all of this, I've had time to replay some shit in my head, and you know how certain shit has started to like come together. And he said something at the Highline Ballroom show we did when we were in the dressing room. He had went outside, he had recorded the people wrapped around the corner, and he came back and he said, yo, I got these niggas wrapped around the block. I got the line around the corner. And I looked at him and I said, Joe, you don't have the line around the corner. We have the line around the corner. Because you've done shows here before, and you've never had the line around the corner.
A lot of people, though, saying, man, think that Joe Budden did these brothers dirty. Like, the narrative that's kind of being painted, in my opinion, I'm hearing the strongest, is that Joe Budden kind of was, controlling everything and kind of breaking them off scratch. And when things got bigger, they wanted to know what's good with the money, you know what I mean? What's good with the deals and shit. And Joe Budden didn't want to open them up to it because I guess he feels like it's more so his brand and their employees. That's just my opinion. What do you think?
Breakups are ugly, man. Breakups get dirty. Breakups get sloppy. Breakups come just like this. And when we seen what happened a month ago or so, we seen this coming because shit gets ugly. We've known and been followers of Joe Budden's career throughout his entire career, going as young adolescent, teenage bulls to men, young men to grown-ass men. We've seen it all. And throughout all of his relationships, he's always went real high, but somewhere Joe always found a way to sever ties some way, somehow. And that's been well documented. That's been admitted by the bro Joe Budden. Fans nonetheless, right? So we've seen this coming.
Yeah.
We've seen this coming, the ugly side of business, and I'm sure there is going to be some truth to what the brother Mal has to say. But here's the thing. I said it yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and bang it on the table again. It is called the Joe Budden Podcast.
Oh, shit.
And this is what happens when you initially allow the man to have the control to begin with. You know that brother. You and Rory know that brother probably better than anybody. You've been around him more the last couple of years, probably than most other than his personal circle. So you know how he moves, you know how he flows, you know how he takes. That is called the Joe Budden Podcast.
Right.
As it gains success, right, so does his name, so does different opportunities. I'm sure it's something for y'all too, but y'all aren't the face of State of the Culture like Joe Budden is. Y'all ain't out here talking to Kevin Samuels and wearing hats and shit like Joe Budden is, and the character that is and the persona that is Joe. So, yeah, there's going to come a level of arrogance and cockiness and control with that, justifiably so, when it has his name on the shit. Got to expect it.
And they're not the Breakfast Club. No disrespect to them brothers, as far as, Mal and Rory. Nothing but respect for them dudes. But you got some shows where it's like you got that lead character and everybody else kind of tag along. The Breakfast Club it's kind of, you maybe say Charlamagne's kind of the lead, but Envy and Angela damn sure hold their weight.
They all need to be there.
Right, they all need to be there to keep it going. This is a situation where, and I was going to actually ask you this next, is this the end of the podcast, or do you see Joe Budden, and answer right when I get finished, do you see Joe Budden falling off after this, or just adding other members to fill in, for them.
Hell no, Joe ain't falling off. This
Yeah,
shit's about to
that's
get
what I believe.
hotter.
Yeah, that's
And
the
it's no
thing.
disrespect to Maul or Rory, but we came to see Joe. When Joe started ranting and going in on Maul and going in on Rory, that's when Joe was in Instagram and the social media outlets and all the blogs, and now we were talking about it because of that rant. Because when Joe does that, he gets ears on him. It's been like that forever,
Yeah.
and that's what fucking sells. And he'll be able to do that with Rory and Maul. He'll be able to do that with Keenan and Kel. He'll be able to do that with whoever the fuck because they come to see him. And they were great ad libs to that main verse, but ad libs nonetheless.
And I was thinking yesterday, like, it can't be a contract now. Like, just having a day to kind of digest this. Because if it was, it'd be simple. Like, you can't fire me. I'm this or this. Or I ain't saying shit. I'm going to court and getting what's mine. But these dudes on social media, you know what I mean? Going back and forth, talking about this is going to the truth and shit's going to come out and all that.
Maybe they will go to court.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. I mean, but again, we shall see. You wish something wouldn't come down to it like this, but now is money involved. And when money involved, always changes the situation. Not peanuts like before. You talking about probably multi-million-dollar deals
No
on the table now from what that podcast has ascended to. And those brothers just want their just due. And it wouldn't be a problem if they came in initially with that already written down. Like, all right, is 33, 33, 33. You know what I mean? Boom. That's how it's going to be cut down the middle. If it's 50-50, it's 50-50. Whatever the breakdown is. But I just don't think there was any paperwork involved. I think it was a situation where they kind of trusted, Joe Budden, and maybe to a fault, because you say they know him better than anybody should know him.
Mm-hmm.
They put him in position, and I don't think they probably didn't think that was going to get that big. It got that big, and now Joe Budden is like, nigga, I don't need you motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
I make this show, which is semi-true. He makes that fucking show. That show is his show. When you listen to it, he probably dominates 80-90% of the conversation, and they give their little opinion, valuable opinion.
Yeah, no,
they're good dudes.
There's no disrespect to them.
Yeah, no disrespect, but that's his, man. And move on and make your own shit and make it pop.
And yeah, I mean, I think that they said, and then we got to see what happens, because I think if they were to come out with something now, that it would get some type of buzz given what's going on right now. I think they would have a door and an opportunity if that shit was hot to get popping. But from what Joe was saying, they're under contract for a year, and if they were even to try to, they would be, in fact, sued. So this shit's messy, man. It's not going to get any better. We'll see.
I like to see what that contract says, because it's weird. It's weird. It's a weird situation.
Even if it was Joe Budden's podcast and they decided as collective to put his name out front because he was the name that was going to sell the tickets. Make 33 in the third, like you said. Make sure that paperwork was straight, because we're going to equally put out the money to receive it back. Now, that's another thing. Who got receipts? Who was putting out money for the lawyer fees? Who's putting out money for the bandwidth to throw out the podcast? All
but
that
see,
shit
the thing is with that is like, it's all got to be ironed out. Like, again, it should be a business account. Not to say that sometimes you get shit personally. I get shit personally. It's all for the business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But something like that, what they got going on, you probably would think that it should be like one account here. You know what I mean?
Makes you think so.
You get the Spotify deal. Like, goddamn. You know what I'm saying?
Throw the motherfucker in the, you know what I mean, the partnership account. You know what I'm saying? And divvy out of that. You would think.
Right. You would think. So, like, if Joe got to use his own money, which is all speculation at this point. It's like, God, you never know. But I wish the best for him, man. And people might sit back and be, oh, yeah, nah, man. And they don't affect nothing we got going over here. We going to eat regardless of the motherfucker. So we just speaking about it. That's what we do, hip-hop news.
And they paved the way. We ain't going to sit back and disrespect or disregard. You know what I mean? We're going to call it like we said. We'd love to have all three of them brothers on the show, equally or individually, to come on here and get a truth. We sit back and listen. But that's our truth right here. That's why we do it here on the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. Give our uncensored truth.
Come over here.
Good, man. This is Sam Ant, CEO of Viral Hip Hop News. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of y'all who are going to check out this documentary. Shout out to my man Lonnie Fresh. Do me a favor. Go to YouTube right now. Go subscribe to Viral Hip Hop News, one of the best hip hop platforms out here right now. We also have The Hub, Hip Hop News Uncensored, of course, the podcast, the baddest podcast out, the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. We drop 7 days a week, doing this thing 100% independent.
There was not one day that I was at work on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that I wished I was somewhere else.
Now let's talk about the Players Club, because you, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that's like your first major role in a movie, right?
Taking over the game. Sincerely appreciate each and every one of y'all. You can grab merch on the YouTube site. You can talk to me on there and much more. Sam Ant, CEO of Viral Hip Hop News. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Check it out.
Oh God, you the man, Cass. I spit white like a clan mask, and I'm a hustler.